OK, time now to welcome three of Ireland's current crop to celebrate how far Irish rugby has come in 150 years and what it means to players and communities up and down the country. And with them, an Irish rugby legend who's been part of organising this year's celebrations. Would you please welcome Munster and Ireland star Craig Casey. Breakthrough Player of the Year, Erin King. Rugby Writer Player of the Year, Aoife Wafer. And 2018 Grand Slam winning captain, Rory. Now, welcome all. We'll start with Craig. The team are down in Portugal for a bit of a training weekend. Remind us why you're not with them tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately I picked up a knee knock against Cass at the end of December, so I had knee surgery Christmas week and very jealous of the lads out in Portugal now. Would love to be there. So.
And how's the rehab going?
Yeah, very well. Ahead of schedule at the minute. Don't want to jinx it, but it's going well at the minute. Hoping to be back start of April, so fingers crossed I can get on the pitch for that La Rochelle game. OK.
Of course, going to miss the Six Nations, though. Yep. Got it, I'm assuming? Yeah,
got it. Very jealous of the lads and what they can do over the next few weeks. Excited to see it, though. It'll be very nice to go 3 in a row, and I think the lads can do it. But obviously got it to miss out, and it's a special time in camp. So got it, yeah.
Erin, last year, big year for you. The first time that an Irish women's team was in the Olympic Sevens. What was it like pulling on the green jersey to running out at a packed Stade de France?
Yeah, it was unreal. The sound of the stadium, it was just packed. And yeah, we tried to qualify for the last 2 Olympics previous and didn't quite make it. So yeah, to finally get there with that group of girls, yeah, it was a lot of years of hard work, but yeah, it all paid off.
You gave us an amazing moment that's had a lot of hearts and mouths. Apparently for you, though, this is no biggie. Have a look at this. So that's
yeah.
That's you underneath there doing your stuff.
Yeah, that's a lift off a kick-off, and that's my teammate Emily Lane. And yeah, I didn't really realise in the moment how far over she had gone, but in sevens, you don't really have time to think, so we were just on to the next thing. And then after the game, Emily's family were kind of like, thank you so much, like, you saved Emily. I was like, what, did I? And then I seen the photo then, and yeah, I was a bit shocked to see she went all the way over. But yeah, that's just a glimpse of all the amazing stuff that we do all the time in training, and there's loads of other girls on the 15s and the 7s teams that can do amazing things like that. So.
Well, look, you're talking about amazing stuff that you guys are doing. The 7s, you're also part of the 15s with Aoife. You guys had a great result against New Zealand last autumn. You're still smiling about that?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think I'll stop smiling anytime soon about it. Like, it's always extremely special when you get to play New Zealand, but to beat them is even more incredible.
And a good day at the office for you, Aoife. How many tries?
2, yeah. It wasn't too bad, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. We got a little moment here. This is the moment that you guys realised you've done the business against the All Blacks. Come on! What's that feeling like, guys?
Oh, it's ridiculous, isn't it?
Can't really put it into words. Like, that's what all the hard work, kind of, that's why you do it. And yeah, just the smiles on your face, all our faces.
Yeah, like I knew we knew we could do it going into that game because we'd been prepped so well and we knew what we had to do going into that. So I suppose it was just so special to be able to pull that off in I suppose the very, very early hours in Ireland. But yeah, it was pretty unreal waking up and all the messages coming from home being like, wow, you actually did it. And we're like, yeah, we did. Yeah, so.
Rory, sitting beside these three, I'm assuming you agree that the future's bright for Irish rugby?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you must feel old, and I do feel old. But yeah, look, it absolutely is. And both the 7s and the 15s game It's incredible to see, you know, that evolution of Irish rugby from, like I remember being a kid going down in the 90s and you used to you hoped that Ireland could put in a bit of a performance for 60 minutes and then hang on. Whereas you look at where it is now, you know, both sides of the men's and women's games, they now go in expecting to win. You know, last year, 6 nations for these guys, to then qualify for that women's competition in Canada, to beat to beat the Black Ferns. You know, that is where Irish rugby is. I think the sevens game has been a big, massive boost to Irish rugby, bringing players through in that system and then for it to go through in the 15. So for the last 5 years, it's been brilliant to be a spectator and watch all of that.
Now, you almost didn't get out of your gates this evening because of the storm.
You promised me you wouldn't mention that.
Well, I'm just wondering, you're part of the organising committee for the 150th year. Did they have anything to worry about that you're in charge of the organisation, Rory, or is this...
Well, just as long as there's no storms, that's fine. Electricity, as I found out today, is very, very important. It's something we clearly take for granted. Well, look, that committee has been put together, obviously, to celebrate 150 years since that first game. And when I was asked by Paul Dean, the chairman, to go on to it, I think it's brilliant to take so much from the game, to give the opportunity to give something back, especially in such a landmark year. We've had the games against Australia. For both the men and the women, we had the big gala dinner, that special shirt that was worn by the men in that Australia game. I think on the 15th of February, which is the actual anniversary of that first game. I think anyone born on that day is going to get they're going to get something as well, a little bit of a treat. So look, there's loads of stuff. The golf I have to mention because I love it so much. So it is really, really important that you take a breath and you mark these special occasions, because when you look at what Irish rugby has done for such a long period of time, it is definitely that needs celebrating, and everything they do, from the club volunteers to the mixed ability, the men's, the women's, the juniors, the community game. Look, I think we'll all agree that it's been unbelievable in our lives. Well, short lives for these guys, longer for me. And it definitely needs to be celebrated.
Talking of celebrating, you were part of a golden era for Irish rugby. What was the highlight for you?
I think, again, as these guys all know, beating the All Blacks or beating New Zealand is incredibly special. To do that for the first time as a men's senior team, it'll only ever be done once for the first time, and we were able to do it in Chicago in 2016. And then to lift the Grand Slam in Twickenham as a captain, something. I think it was the first ever trophy I'd lifted as a captain, which I think, given the age I was then, and that I'd captained underage sides and Ulster, etc., for a long time, for your first ever trophy as a captain to lift the Grand Slam at Twickenham on the coldest day of the year. My daughters cried twice at Twickenham, once in this game because it was so cold, and then we played them in a World Cup warm-up and it was so hot she couldn't get any shade anywhere. But look, that was a special occasion, and it was a good night as well. And next day.
Aoife, we're talking about how the game has changed. I know whenever you were starting out, you were playing with the boys and you had to come up with a plan to try to get yourself a pass. What was that?
Yeah, I suppose my mum still slags me about it, that I had like really long and blonde hair, and you could spot it from a mile off, and you'd kind of always be picked out from opposite coaches and that kind of thing of, oh, look, like there's a girl on the wing and run down this way. And I suppose it's gas because my coaches kind of stood there, arms folded, was like, yeah, go on, take a shot there. But I came home one day and we came up with a plan that I'd wear a scrum cap, which obviously you could still see my hair, out the back of the scrum cap. I was obviously very small back then as well. But then I suppose it developed into, I think I was 15 or 16, and my birthday was coming up, and Mum was like, here, what would you like for your birthday? And I didn't really need anything, so we'd said she'd come home with a scrum cap, and it happened to be a red scrum cap. And then it developed into a really special thing that I still wear every game, and it represents, I suppose, my nan, who sadly now isn't with us, but when I started playing games that were streamed and games that were on the telly, she'd always be my biggest fan watching on the telly, and she'd always be giving out when someone from another team was wearing a red scrum cap, even though my uncle would quickly remind her that they're obviously wearing a different jersey. But so I suppose nowadays, like, even though she's not with us in person, she's definitely still there watching my games.
Craig, yep. That's a lovely memory. Aoife's talking there about rugby being in the blood. Craig, it's in your DNA too, down in Munster.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Luckily, I had my uncle to kind of look up to when I was growing up. He was playing for Munster when I was very young and living in and around Thomond Park. So it was kind of the progression for me. I was always going to be a rugby player, or try to be a rugby player. And I think growing up around Thomond Park, it's just the done thing.
I mean, and so many legends. I mean, down there, I mean, we got a little shot of you here with the late great Anthony Foley. Look at that. I mean, that is so good. We also have another one off you here with, there's Peter Stringer. It's, I mean, now that you are where you are, I mean, are those pictures even more special?
Not much taller. Yeah, no, they are special. I think the Axel one is incredibly special after what has happened and the sad story around that. But it's very cool to kind of look back on it and see those pictures. I know Stringer actually texted me the day after I made my debut, so that's fairly special as well. And they constantly come flooding back those pictures. But I think the Axel one will definitely stay with me for a long time. He's a Shannon man, so am I, and to walk out with him after everything that's happened, it's class.
We also have another picture over here with another legend. A bit more recent. What's going on here?
Yeah, like I said, not much taller, so the mascot thing kind of lives on, and I'm absolutely not going to say no to Johnny Sexton in the tunnel. He's scary enough as it is, so when he's sure on something that's happening, I'll go with it any day of the week. So kind of happened in a Six Nations game. Someone was making their 50th cap, and I was made walk out as mascot, obviously, and we won. So it kind of progressed on that every time there was a special thing happening, I again was the mascot. So I've kind of shaken it over the last 6 months, but no, it was great crack, and kind of Bill's team are at anyway. Well, that's what I taught myself.
And that's what they told you.
Yeah.
Very good. Erin, World Cup year for you guys. I'm sure beating New Zealand has put a spring in your step for that.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, going into WXV1, we were definitely the underdogs, and to come out of that second place just showed how much potential is in our squad and how exciting it is. Like, there's so many good players coming in, and we've got a great coaching staff, and we're just getting better and better, and I think we're going to keep making history, and I think we're going to keep surprising people. And
going to be surprising a few people in the Six Nations as well, Aoife?
I sure hope so. Anyway, we've France first up, so we've definitely got an eye on that. But look, we can't wait to grow our green wave and to keep bringing people along our journey, because this team is something really special, and we're going to keep continuing to make history, like Erin has said. And the women have already got to a World Cup semi, and we can't wait to build on that.
Very good, Rory. Six Nations for the men. Any predictions for us? How do you think we're going to do?
I think we have a really, really good chance. I think the way the fixtures have fallen, there's no doubt that France are incredibly strong, but we have them at home. But any time you do well in the Six Nations, it's about the momentum at the start. That first game against England, and it's cliched, but that'll be all they'll be looking at. If you can win those first two games, England at home, Scotland away, you just get momentum and you get confidence, and you just keep rolling on through. So look, I have every faith that Ireland are gonna win. Simon Easterby, I'm sure, wouldn't like me to predict a Grand Slam, but look, I think that's where we are now. We expect to go out and we expect to win the Six Nations every year. And there's sometimes a little bit of going into that game against Scotland last year. It was almost a little bit disappointed that it wasn't going to be a Grand Slam, but it's a championship. Championships and Irish rugby, they don't come every year until recently, and that's where we've got to be incredibly proud of that. And for me, this team is very capable of achieving at least a championship, if not better.
Well, look, guys, thank you so much for coming in. I know you need to get back to the green room to get your place with Andy Farrell on the Lions. So I'm assuming that deal's already been done there, has it?
I certainly wish I could talk myself into a Lions spot.
Well, look, thanks so much for coming in. Give it up one more time for Craig, for Erin, for Aoife, and for Rory. Thank you.